Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Ash, and this is my YouTube channel, Ash Knows Travel. And today we're going to be doing some live travel advisor training with Royal Caribbean, also known as Cruising Power. So today we're just going to do a nice, gentle, but quick walkthrough. And I'm going to teach you guys how amazing they are because they are my favorite vendor. 3 years here, and I have booked the most Royal Caribbean. That is it. No, just kidding. But I absolutely love Royal Caribbean. Honestly, when I get a quote for a cruise, I typically only give them Royal Caribbean because it's just such an amazing cruise line. Whether you're going as a couple, whether you're going as a family, you're going to get a good rate. You're going to have a good time. Now, I will say I've had a little bit better food, but considering it's made in mass production, the food's pretty good. So we're going to get into how to book them. We're going to go over their site because they have an update. So let's just get started. So I'm already logged in. Of course, if you are not registered for Cruising Power, you can find the instructions in the Travel Cafe. It would be for Cruising Power, not Royal Caribbean. And if you even click it, it guides you back there. Okay, so make sure you follow the instructions on how to register with them. But we are already registered, so we're just going to go straight through the site. So let's start off first with scrolling down and just looking at everything. Now, first they have Book with Espresso, where you can technically go in and book right here. I'm going to tell you guys, I don't really like going through this way. You can use it, but I go actually through here and I click Espresso. Okay, but you can search through here. But anytime I typically go through this, it sends me to promotions first, and it confuses me. So choose how you want to. Today we're going to go through the actual Espresso site. Now, you also can search for any type of reservations by the name or the date. I love this feature. I do this a lot, and I just have to have their name. Love that. And then you can also send them a confirmation email right here too. Scrolling down, they have a lot of new cruise enhancements for their site. So they now offer flights and hotels, and they have the cruise planner. This is actually the cruise planner app. It's kind of Royal Caribbean thing, but they have the cruise planner in here for excursions that you can look at. They also have the availability to purchase onboard credit that we can now give our clients, which is fantastic. Do you have to do that? No. I'm not going to ever force somebody into saying that you have to do it, but it is sometimes a good incentive for groups. I use it. I have used it when I was trying to see like how could I be an advantage if I'm making $350 plus in commission. I can spare $25, right? So there's an option. We also have a really great marketing hub inside of Cruising Power. It's going to cover all three of them, but you can find Rallyo, the social media like platform, where it will post all the way across. I recommend this because their videos, especially Silversea videos, are absolutely amazing. They get a lot of hits on my social media. They have digital brochures. They have microsites that you can discover, like Icon of the Seas. They have an image library, and you can even create an e-quote that sends absolutely beautiful emails to your client and with sort of pricing. Okay, at first it gives them like the average, and then they can kind of go in depth in there, but they still have to call you for booking. Okay. The search promotions. This is good because sometimes Royal Caribbean will have a 72-hour flash sale, and they will email us it, but how many emails do we get a day? A lot. So before you do a booking, just search here and see if there is maybe a good deal going on for your client. And let's see, featured offers, old offers, we know that. The training. Let me tell you, if you're new and you're watching this, if you're going to do Royal Caribbean training, sit down and get prepared because it's a journey. And so with Celebrity and Silversea, they go really in depth here. Okay, I'm talking like the dimensions of the ship and stuff like that. It's a lot. So do you have to have this? No. If you want to be an expert on them, yes, sure. But is it a requirement? Like, for example, Disney, you're required to get the certification, and then you have to have your CLIA, and then you can use the benefits, right? Is it like that here? No, right? So you can still book with them and you can still take part in a lot of their amazing offers, etc. Now, I have seen one time in my 3 years, I've seen one time where somebody completed their Royal Caribbean training and they got a cruise. I don't think it's a guaranteed thing, but if you're looking for an incentive, might as well try, right? Next, we have the ship locator. Um, the ship locator is great for you if your clients and you want to see where they're at. You can definitely take a look at that. And then lastly, how to connect with the group leaders for Royal Caribbean. Now, we do have our own BDM too, right? I would only contact these people if it was something serious, and I would contact Ron Archer before I got to these, okay? Because they're busy, they have things to do. If you need help, of course, call customer support. That is for us, not for clients, but for us. And let me tell you about them. They're one of the main reasons I really love Royal Caribbean. Not only that, but one time I had an issue with something that happened. It was like the onboard credit disappeared, but regardless, I got in contact with Ron, and then Ron got in contact with Randy, and he helped me fix it, which is our BDM. They're absolutely amazing people to work with. They will help you, and they're very like into making sure your client's completely happy, and I love that. So now, when you are booking Royal Caribbean, I'm going to show you how to do it online, okay? But I want to tell you something that a lot of travel advisors don't know. You can call and book them. You can call all cruise lines and book them. Now, they're not going to typically send anything out for you, like an e-quote or something. They're not going to do that. But if you need help searching something, or if you need help finding the best deal, or if you have 5+ people in a room, then we definitely need to call them. So make sure that you are using all of your tools when it comes to this. All right. Don't feel like you have to sit there and be frustrated because you can't find something, or you need help. Call them. They will help you. They're so nice. Now, I want to tell you something else real quick too about them. When you are calling them and you're doing like the 5+ people in the room, I've booked groups with them, so I've done this a lot. I'm going to tell you something about this, okay? For some reason, like they try to give you like the highest price room. And then I've done a lot of searching online, so I know what rooms hold 5 people. But recently I just had this situation happen like a few days ago. And the lady priced me on the first room and she's like 23 grand. And I was like, ma'am, their budget is 3,200. We're gonna take it down a little notch, And then she ended up finding me a spacious ocean view balcony room. And I was like, wait, that holds 5 people? And she said, absolutely. I said, okay, let's go. So as long as they can get it to where, I'm pretty sure it probably has another couch in it, which is probably another bed, I'm going to assume. So as long as it can hold them and they approve it, then don't be afraid to ask for a lower room, okay? Now, normally they're going to give you best prices, etc., right? But they're going to go automatically for like a grand suite. Do you have to have that? No. And I don't want anyone to ever think that they do. So let's get into the booking. You can call them, of course, but right now we're going to get into the booking for online. So I'm going to come in here and you can access it here, or you can do booking and you can go here too. And it's going to bring you to Espresso. I love this site. This is my site. I can do multiple things on one page, right? The flight thing, it's not in here. You're going to have the flight section separate. The hotels and stuff they can do here, okay? But start a group is great. I'm going to tell you something about Royal Caribbean's groups. They sell out quick. I was just looking up one the other day for my agent, and it was sold out. And I think the cruise ship was leaving in like June of next year, and the group part was already blocked out. So we have limited options for amount of numbers of group sailings that we can request. I don't know the numbers, but I've just always been told that. So I'm going to tell you this. If you have somebody that comes to you for a group request and you want to get a group rate, it's not required, but if you want to get one, and they have perks. So if you have so many rooms booked to get a free cabin, so many rooms booked to get tour conductor credits, etc., right? So if you want that, get into like looking a year plus out, because they sell out very quickly. And as soon as you remotely think that you are going to go in there and do that, and you can confirm prices, etc., reserve it, set it up. Okay. You can always add rooms. It's very easy to add rooms, but once that group rate is sold out for that cruise, that's all we get. Okay. So real quick, let's start an individual reservation. This also has that find that reservation tool, and then you can transfer an individual. Let's say you set up a group rate after you did an individual booking. You can transfer them to that. Hotels by Royal Caribbean here. They have hotels, flights. We're doing future cruise credit here. They have the group sellings and then send confirmation. Yeah, we love that. Okay, so I think that's just FlexPay. I haven't ever used FlexPay inside of this. Okay, so basically this is like a firm. All right. I don't really use FlexPay. I haven't really ran into that option. I wouldn't try to book somebody who was like afraid they wouldn't have their money for their final deposit, right? So let's start your individual reservation. Now, Celebrity Cruises, Royal Caribbean is in here. Today we're gonna pick Royal Caribbean. All destinations, I like to leave this one open. What's really gonna determine it is the port. So today we're gonna leave out of Miami. This is fine, leave that alone. Unless they have like a specific, like perfect day, if they want that, fine. But what also depends on this is going to depend on the number of nights. So I'm gonna go further out to show you the deposit feature. You can book multiple rooms in here. I'll show you how to do that. But right now we're gonna have 2 adults. We don't need any of this yet, none of this. And let's just say they're from Florida. And search. Now in here, before I hit search, you can add their loyalty number. You can also search to see if they have a loyalty number by doing that. 1 second. I talk too much. And then you can also add in promo codes. Let me tell you something about promo codes with Royal Caribbean though. When they go on the website, it tells them to put their email in and then they get a promo code. Don't use that. Listen, one time I used that and I almost lost out on my commission because sometimes you have to read the fine print. And I got lucky. Mine said commissionable rate, but I didn't know that and I got kind of panicky. So make sure if you're using any promo code that they need to send you the entire thing. And at the bottom, it needs to make sure that it says something about commissionable rate so that you still get paid for booking that cruise, okay? Because putting in that promo code could take away your commission, so double check. All right, so search. Enough preaching, keep going. All ships, we're leaving Miami. We got some dates. I actually just booked this, that's what's funny. Guest loyalty, okay. If you need to change it in here, and we'll get to that. So let's go ahead and just book the most popular cruise sea deal we have here. I like to look at the prices based on the dates. So if I have like a January to February, I'm gonna come in here and check the cheapest price. So look at this balcony, look how many days though, okay? So we would filter it based on the request. But you can see some of the deals are pretty good. Like 7-night right here is 1,026, but a 7-night here, because it's so close to January 1st, New Year's, is 1,900. So when I have a client that gives me a range, I try to go to the cheapest one, right? So let's go ahead and, well, we can go on the Sympathy of the Seas. Let's go here. All right, this is what our client wants. You can technically select up to 3, and then you can compare them. And it's going to give you the prices side by side. You can send this to your client, get a rough idea, right? And you can also create an e-quote or select the sailing that you want to choose from here. So we were doing the Sympathy of the Sea, so I'm just going to click select sailing. And it's going to bring me to the same page as if we were clicking on next. All right, now we're down to the part where we're going to pick the room. So if you look here, you can see where the dates start from and the price. I like this. I do this a lot too. And then we also have the options. I'm talking about this here before we even get into that part. So like if we do transfers, we can pick them and we can add them. Go back. Hotels. Like I said, hotels can be done in here It'll like, and when here, I mean like added in here. But the flight finder part is typically on the outside or after. And then they also have cruise tours. Cruise tours are a little bit different. That's where they get off the ship and they actually do like a tour on land too. And then you can update the price quote. So if I wanted to, let's just say, we typically all want to offer travel insurance, right? So first let's select the room because it's not going to let me do that. But after I hit select on one of these rooms, I can go in there and update it before I give any deals, okay? If you want to see what room has 5+ people it can sleep in, look here. And now I can see, like right here, if I click on this room, it'll tell me, of course it'll tell me before, but this kind of opens it up so you can see, and then it'll tell me up to 5 guests. So look for that, okay? This was important when I called because I was like, wait, I've seen this room. Tell me. Nope. Okay, I know it's here, right? So it's great for that reason. So let's see. We're obviously not going to do that. We also have this option if they're one of those people that want a refundable deposit. It raised the price, but you can try and see if they have that. Ignore this. This is not for us. So what this is telling me right here is that Travel Leaders Network has added a headquarter group. If they get added into the headquarter group, they will get a $50 onboard credit. This does not pertain to you in an individual booking. Ignore that. In a setting as well, if they get added into a group, 8 additional rooms need to be added, and then you can get a tour conductor credit, which is kind of like a benefit for them. This is all not pertaining to us here. I don't even know why it's there. I think it's because you can add people into it, but I wouldn't suggest doing that. They need to take that out. Anyways, handicap filter. They have also the categories, the statuses. We only want available. Okay, any of these, guaranteed is fine. That means they pick the stateroom. Waitlisted means it's not available. Closed means it's not available. And then available is just they get to pick the stateroom. Offers, all of them except the standard or the other 2 that they're running. Of course, we'll leave that there. And then I'll deselect that one. And if you need to add the handicap feature, a connecting stateroom means that I'm booking 2 rooms and I want them next to each other and they will connect with the door. Okay, let's move on. So, oh wait, before I move on, let me show you this too. So if you're asking me a question, I can't see it right now. So I'm just letting you know because I see some people on here. But I can't see it until I get into the studio where I'm at. So I'm not ignoring you. I will answer you, I promise. Real quick. This right here, I use this on all my quotes. I think a lot of people see that in my quote and they probably like, how does she get that? It's right here. I screenshot the sailing itinerary for all my quotes, and you can do your e-quote here as well. Okay. Let's go down. Let's pick our room first before we do an e-quote of any sort. All right. I'm going to pick a guaranteed room just because that's what I normally go for. See all these wait lists is closed? That means that there's a wait list for this. This one means it's completely sold out. If I do available, they pick the stateroom, but it typically costs more. So there's the available. Let's see if I can find a guarantee. Yeah. So $1,500 for a regular one. We have it down to $1,579. We love that. But we would typically want to go for something like this. This is where they pick the stateroom, Royal Caribbean. Now, I will tell you, the only time I've ever had an issue with this is if you try to book it within 30 days and they offer you a guarantee. If that ship is overbooked, the guarantee is the first one to go. So that's the only thing I can tell you about it. I've only seen it happen once in the 3 years that I've been here, but they tried to book that ship last minute and the ship was already, it was done. So that part is kind of dangerous. But if you're booking it like 6-7 months out, don't worry about that. There's no problem. They're going to have a room for them. Okay. Another thing I want to tell you, the reason why it's guaranteed is because they don't get assigned a room till they get on the ship. If you get a client that has to have their room number before, you have to do these kind of prices. And you can explain to them, well, if you're that serious about it, you have to pay this. If you're cool with just finding your room there, then that. But a lot of people will prefer not to stay in the front of the ship. They want to stay in the aft, which is in the back. And you also want to pay attention to what's happening on which floors. If you have somebody that's having a lot of kids come with them, then you want them on the floor where the daycare or the nursery or whatever is, right? You want them around that. And then two, I would just be careful about putting them, if you're going to pick the room, near like the bar or any places that seem loud, because they will be. Okay. Like if you put them right next to the elevator, they're going to have a lot of action right next to the door. So just keep in mind when you're picking the rooms. But I'm going to do a guarantee. We have 8 of them left. We love that. So if I was telling my clients, like, we're booking 2 or 3 rooms, okay, there's only 8 left. So they know. Now, I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom because this is just all of, like, this is group information. You can see the group is already closed for the ship. So let's see here. Create an e-quote. I'm going to switch the tab to show you that. So this is what it will look like. You can build it here when it loads. So you can click here, and then it even gives you a preview of it. You can select the category you want. Let's just say I did balcony. You can go in and select it too. Come on. I guess it's not going to let me go down any further. Okay. Review email. And then it kind of looks like, it starts like this. I don't know why it won't let me scroll down. Probably because I don't have the stuff all filled out. But it starts with this, and then it will tell them about the rooms, about all this different stuff. And then it gives them like a rough pricing. Your pricing probably will be more accurate. So just keep that in mind. My favorite feature is this tab right here. Boom. When I'm doing quotes, this is what I click on. This tells you all the details. $500 deposit, when it's due, when the final amount is due. It's also going to tell you the full amount. And if you put 2 rooms in here, it'll show the full amount for both rooms. Love that. Guarantee, the room type, all the important information, and then the total price. It also, if you open this little tab, it'll tell you how much commission you're going to get. Yay, love that. So that is the most important part for me. This is where I get all my, my nitty gritty. I got to get all the details. But if I were to finish out the booking, we can hit continue. I'm going to tell you, for most Royal Caribbean cruise bookings, the deposit's $250 per person normally. There are certain scenarios where they'll do a reduced deposit, and then I've seen it to where anywhere it's from like 100 to 150 to 200, but it depends. But what I will tell you now is that when they have those reduced deposits, make sure you check it again before you call your client and book, because I've had a situation where they changed it. That's not Royal Caribbean's fault. It's the client's fault because they delayed, and I left a note for them saying you delayed. But there's a good chance that sometimes it can go up. For the reduced deposit part, it will go away. So make sure you check it before you book it, okay? So next we would come in, fill in the guest information. You don't need their passport if they are doing the plane, or this could probably be telling you where they're going to fly into. So this part right here wouldn't be the actual booking, but if they are flying in somewhere, that was where you put it. Now, guest 2, Air City, and then dining options. I'm going to tell you, first of all, we have 5 p.m. or my time. Nobody likes to eat this early. Even the older people don't like to eat that early. It's normally really packed, and this is when all of the fun stuff happens. On the ship, they have a lot of normally like events happening around this time. I don't know why they do that, but I always go with my time. And then if you have a big family, try to split them with the amount of people. And this option is never available. I don't know why. Fruitier cruise credit redemption. If they got that email where they purchased it, you just put it in here and it will continue. And then the bedding configuration. This one's not going to be open, but I have seen it where it will ask me and I can get it in. It's probably because I don't have it filled out, but I have seen this open before. And you can put them apart or together, or you can just fix it when you get there. Either way. Pre-vacation, you'll put their info in, and if they want travel protection for their rooms, you can add it or not add it. All right, and then you review and book. Typically, you don't need the deposit right away. So how I like to do this is when I'm sending out my quote, I will be like, hey, if you like this and you think you're going to book it, go ahead and send me the names and date of births so I can just reserve this. And then if you want to cancel it, we can cancel it before the deposit's due, or it'll cancel out. And then I'll tell you too, once you reserve it, it's gonna say like reserved or held or something here. I don't remember, but they won't be able to see all of the fun stuff like cruise planner and all of that until after they pay the deposit. When they pay the deposit, it'll go from that to saying booked, and then you're good. Okay, so just note that. Then on the left-hand side, I wish I could show you one that's already booked. They have a lot of good stuff. Like the final pricing part is good because you can sit there and see like, like what's left, what's owed, etc. And then, the payments, they do have the option of with the FlexPay where they will make the payments set up, like you can set up a schedule for the payments. So I like that too. So that is really all quickly as I can Royal Caribbean walkthrough. That's really what you need. If we wanted to, let's go back real quick. I'll do a little spicy extra for you guys. So now we're in the setting of the categories. We started over. I'm going to add a room. Oh, we're going to book 2 rooms at once? Absolutely. Now we're going to book Betty Sue and her friend, and they want a connecting room. All right, Betty. So if I know that they want a connecting room, I'm going to have to change this room. You can click in between these, and it will work perfectly fine. They have this pretty good, but it deleted it because I didn't select it. So let me change this first before I hit connecting rooms, or it's going to get mad at me. So check the category, 4D. All right, now let's add a room. That's fine. We want connecting rooms and save. Now we're going to pick the room. If I click out of this again, you can see the connection right there. If I click out of it, it's not going to save it until I select the room. Okay. So ocean view, balcony, 4D. And you see the little connector? It means they connect. So select. Now it's going to take us to where? Continue. Staterooms. That's the next one. Oh, but before we do the stateroom, okay, fine. I clicked it too fast. I wanted to show you the cool pricing part. I use this a lot. Let me go back. Stop. I keep getting notifications. Go away. All right. Before I go forward, hold on. Price quote. I love this. Oh, this is my favorite. Look. So this is the total for both rooms. Okay. I haven't selected the rooms, but that's okay. We don't need to get that far. I do make sure they're available before I push this, but I don't go all the way through the booking when I'm quoting, right? So total, this is deposit 1. There's a deposit 2. This is when it's due. So it's $1,000 deposit due June 20th with the final payoff date for each cruise. It's the same. And then you can even see the commission per one. So $371 and then $371. It tells you both. This is important, this part right here, because they will give you like onboard credit, and it'll have like guest 1, 2 get $50, and then guest 3 doesn't get none. So that's why you want to look at all of this to make sure what's put in here. Okay. So that part I just want to show you real quick, and then let's just connect the rooms so you guys can see connecting rooms real quick. So continue. I typically do the connecting room scenario when I have people that have to get 2 rooms because they have so many kids. So you put 1 adult in one room, 1 adult in the other, and then space out the kids however you want. You want to make sure it's available. It's on deck 6, so let's go there. And then we have to pick the first room. Look, they're not available. Oh, the rooms aren't available. Nope, they wouldn't be able to do that on this scenario. Like, that's so scary because this is January. They've already sold this out, and why would somebody book that and then not that? That's so rude. Like, you could have booked all over the ship, and you want to go on that deck. Okay, so that would tell me we'd have to change the category of the room, is what that would tell me. And so how would we do that? I'd have to go back to categories. Look, we're just discovering all kinds of stuff today. All right, real quick, just for purposes. There we go. Now we have a 2D. We have to pay attention to the categories of the room. Now, if you're wondering what those categories mean, I don't really, it's important, but it's not important that it's going to affect you. Like, they have so many of them, but it's just that type of room is what that category is. So if I'm comparing, I have to find the one that's like exactly like that one, so I can get the same connecting feature. All right, now, one more time. Watch them completely sold out on connecting rooms. Mm-mm. We got too many decks to play with. Also, keep in mind when we're here, let's see, you can select the deck here, but pay attention to where the ship is. This is the aft, this is the front, right? So pay attention to that too. I still am not seeing any connecting rooms. That's fantastic. Mm-mm. This must be a very popular cruise. This would be it might work. It wouldn't be worth paying for if you're that far apart. You might as well just get a balcony guarantee. Well, we know deck 6 doesn't have any, so yeah, look, they sold out of that. Oh, look at the stuff at the end of the ship. That's cool. Boom. That's just going to be my quick walkthrough for today. I think I've taught you everything you need to know to be able to book this quickly, effectively. And I do a lot of quotes out of here, and I can tell you this is my favorite cruise line to book through. Carnival is a lot like this one. They work very, very easy too. But then when you get to like Princess and NCL, which I'm going to do tomorrow, I'm doing NCL. It's a deep dive. Okay. So that is all I have to show you guys today for our Royal Caribbean live walkthrough. I appreciate you guys joining. And if you have questions, feel free to comment them below. I'm going to enter my studio now so I can actually see the live questions. So if you have questions, I'm going to stay on here for a little bit longer. This went longer than I want to, but hey, we'll take it. And yeah, if you need to know anything else, just feel free to comment below and I will help you out. So thank you so much for watching, and make sure you guys like and subscribe so you can get notified when I will be live for tomorrow.